So, beginning the EFT process, it's a three-step process, right? However, the magic does not lie in the process, it lies instead in persistence. EFT is a practice that is ideal when you do it persistently, so it would be ideal to incorporate it into your morning routine or whatever mindfulness routine or wellness routine that you do on a daily basis. So to start EFT, you start by measuring or rating the current emotion or problem that you're going through at that time from a scale of 1 to 10. For an example, if we're dealing with sadness, from a scale of 1 to 10, how sad are you feeling? Sad being on a level of you've just had the worst news possible, and um yeah, so being that you just had the worst news possible, or is it, are you just sad because of that particular situation at that moment? So that's how you use that scale, and that's how you gauge on how heavy or how intense, I think intense is the correct word, that emotion or problem that you're experiencing at that time is. So the reason for measuring this or rating this is what you're going to use to gauge on how the problem or the emotion is improving as you're tapping on each round. So if the issue or the problem at the beginning of the round, for example, was on an 8, you're going to do the first round of tapping, which I'll explain how to do shortly. And after that first round, you then gauge again on a scale of 1 to 10. Now that you've done the tapping, how would you rate that emotional problem again? A very important factor of EFT tapping is you need to tap with enough pressure to ensure that you feel it, right? And it's up to you if you only want to tap with one hand or if you want to use both hands, and if you want to tap on both sides at the same time. It's a personal preference. So we now move on to the setup of starting the EFT process. This is very important as it prepares the body's energy system as you prepare to go into the tapping. So how you do it is you affirm 3 times. So you put your hand up like this and you tap on the side of whichever hand that you'll be using. You affirm 3 times and you say, even though I have this blank emotion, blank problem, so even though I'm feeling so nervous, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you will do this 3 times, tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I feel so nervous, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel so nervous, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel so nervous, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. We then proceed to tap on each tapping point between 7 to 10 times. And while you're tapping, ensure that you're focusing on the problem at that specific moment. Don't think about what you have to do after the session. Don't focus on your to-do list. Ensure to get the best benefits, you need to ensure that you're focusing on that specific problem or that specific emotion at that time. The tapping points are as follows. It's on top of the head, the top of the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the eye, below the nose, below the lip, the collarbone, under your arm, around your bra line for us ladies, and your inner wrists. As you've identified that specific emotional problem that you are wanting to solve with the tapping, you continue tapping 7 to 10 times on each point while repeating the problem or the emotion. So I feel nervous, I'm feeling so nervous, but even though I feel this way, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Reminder again that it's the top of the head, top of the side, the bottom, here, here, there, there, as well as your wrists. Once you've done the first round of tapping, repeating that affirmation of what the current problem or emotion is, you then go back to that scale that I mentioned earlier, where you now gauge and see from a scale of 1 to 10, now that I've done a round of tapping, on the scale, where am I? Initially, for example, if I was on an 8, am I now on a 6? Am I on a 5? If you're not between a 0 and a 3, it's advisable, and I would like to encourage you to do another round of tapping. So you continue again on the tapping points with another round, focusing on the problem or the emotion at that time. After that round, you go back and you gauge again from a scale of 1 to 10. Do it until you between at least a 0 and a 3. And a reminder to take deep breaths in between, because it can be quite intense and a lot of emotions can come up. You can yawn, that's also normal. So you've done your rounds of tapping where you're focusing on the emotion or the problem. On a scale of 1 to 10, you started on a certain level. The feeling or the problem or the emotion has now dissipated, and you're between a 0 and a 3 now. Here comes the fun part. You now move on to putting in the positive suggestions. So how you do this is you focus on the initial problem or emotion that you wanted to tackle. I'll continue with the example of nervousness. So think about, now that you're feeling nervous, how would you like to feel instead? So if I think of nervousness, I'm thinking I'd like to feel confident. I'd love to feel empowered. So you follow the same process again, where you're tapping on the same points again. And as you're tapping, this time you're not focusing on the negative emotions. This time you are tapping in the positive suggestions, right? So if now you say, I feel confident and I'm feeling super excited. I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling like I know my story. I'm now ready to show up. I'm actually very excited to show up. I'm feeling calm. After you have now put in the positive suggestions, I'm hoping you'll be feeling very good and excited and calm, and you definitely will actually. It's not even a hope, I can reassure you. It's advisable to grab a glass of water, incorporate a bit of movement, like a stretch. I like doing a bit of a dance because the energy at that time would be so high. Let me know if you have any further questions, and thank you for watching. See you on the next one.